Explosive new revelations are shaking up U.S. politics as journalist Bob Woodward's upcoming book, War, uncovers bombshell details about Donald Trump's secretive ties with Vladimir Putin, alleging that Trump has communicated with the Russian leader at least 7 times since leaving office. Woodward's findings raise serious questions about Trump's motives, especially as he pressures Republicans to block military aid to Ukraine. With the 2024 election just around the corner and Trump vying for a return to power, what could these revelations mean for America's future? Stay tuned to find out. It's not unusual for former presidents to stay involved in global affairs after their tenure, but ongoing contact with foreign leaders, especially during sensitive geopolitical conflicts, raises eyebrows. It makes you wonder about the implications for future U.S. policies. One of the more eye-catching claims from the book is that in 2020, during the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, Trump secretly sent advanced Abbott point-of-care COVID-19 testing machines to Putin for personal use. According to the book, Putin was nervous about the virus and had asked Trump to keep the gesture under wraps to avoid any political fallout. Putin allegedly told Trump, "I don't want you to tell anybody because people will get mad at you, not me." This account adds another layer of intrigue to Trump's relationship with Putin, particularly the secrecy surrounding it. It's interesting how small, private gestures between world leaders can have big political consequences. If true, this shows the lengths to which both leaders were willing to go to manage their public images. Woodward's narrative regarding Trump's post-presidency communications with Putin is based on information from an anonymous former Trump aide. This individual reportedly indicated that Trump and Putin had spoken as many as 7 times after Trump left office. However, the aide did not have additional details about the content of these conversations. Though no independent verification of these claims has emerged, the allegations have reignited concerns over Trump's unusually close relationship with the Russian leader, a recurring issue during his time in office. Anonymous sources can be tricky, as they raise questions about credibility, but it's also common in investigative journalism when sensitive information is at stake. This leaves readers wanting more concrete evidence. The Trump campaign wasted no time in dismissing the claims in Woodward's book, launching personal attacks against the author. Trump's communications director, Stephen Chung, labeled Woodward a total sleazebag, rejecting the content of the book outright. He described it as the work of someone afflicted with Trump derangement syndrome. Chung also emphasized that Trump had not provided any access to Woodward for this book, while referencing an ongoing legal dispute between Trump and the journalist. The Kremlin has also denied these allegations, with Putin's spokesperson Dmitry Peskov calling the claims bogus, dismissing them as part of the U.S. pre-election political maneuvering. This kind of response from both the Trump camp and the Kremlin isn't surprising, considering the political stakes. Personal attacks against the author divert attention from the core issue, but it also makes you wonder about the underlying truth. Trump's fondness for Putin has long been a contentious issue. During his presidency, U.S. intelligence agencies concluded that Russia, under Putin's orders, interfered in the 2016 U.S. election to help Trump win. Trump frequently questioned these findings, siding with Putin's denials. While special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation didn't find criminal collusion between Trump's campaign and Russia, it did document numerous interactions between Trump's team and Russian officials. Trump has continued to praise Putin even after leaving office, notably calling him a genius when Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. Trump's reluctance to endorse military support for Ukraine and his attempts to sway Republicans against further aid have only intensified criticism of his stance. Trump's consistent praise for Putin, even during a war, raises legitimate questions about his foreign policy priorities. It's fascinating that public opinion on this issue is so sharply divided. Trump's position on the Ukraine war has drawn sharp criticism, particularly from his opponents, who argue that his policies favor Russia. Trump has claimed that if he were re-elected, he could bring an end to the war within 24 hours, although he has not provided specifics on how he would achieve this. Some critics suggest that his proposed peace plan would likely benefit Russia, potentially allowing the country to retain control over the Ukrainian territories it has captured. Senator J.D. Vance, Trump's running mate for 2024, hinted that Trump might offer Russia a guarantee of neutrality from Ukraine, which would prevent Ukraine from joining NATO, something Putin has long wanted. It's bold to claim that a conflict as complex as the Ukraine war could be resolved in such a short time, especially without providing concrete details. The idea of a neutrality guarantee certainly lines up with Putin's desires, which could be problematic for Ukraine's future. Critics of Trump, including current Vice President Kamala Harris, have strongly condemned his approach to Russia and Ukraine. In a recent interview, Harris argued that Trump's proposed policies would amount to a capitulation to Putin, saying that if Trump were in charge, Putin would be sitting in Kiev right now. She also pushed back against Trump's claim that he could quickly end the conflict, characterizing it as a strategy that would essentially hand Russia a victory. Harris's comments are harsh, but they reflect the broader concern among Trump's critics that his approach could weaken the West's stance against Russian aggression. It's tough to see how a quick resolution would protect Ukraine's sovereignty. Woodward's book doesn't offer any specific details about the nature of the alleged conversations between Trump and Putin, but it does quote Jason Miller, a senior aide to Trump's campaign, who denied that the two were regularly in contact. At the same time, Miller admitted that if Trump and Putin wanted to speak with each other, they would certainly find a way to make that happen. This acknowledgement from Miller is a bit of a double-edged sword. While he downplays the frequency of contact, he also leaves open the possibility that communication could easily occur if both leaders desired it. The secrecy surrounding Trump's alleged discussions with Putin is especially notable because it diverges from the norm for former U.S. presidents. While it's not unusual for former leaders to meet with foreign officials, such interactions are typically transparent and coordinated with the current administration. In Trump's case, if these conversations are real, the hidden nature of the exchanges is particularly concerning, especially given the ongoing war in Ukraine. Transparency is key when it comes to former presidents engaging in diplomacy, especially when it involves adversarial nations like Russia. The fact that these communications are alleged to have taken place in secret adds to the controversy.